Now I'm ready.
Yeah, that sounded good.
Now you're
Nose
ready.
blown. Nose
Let's
blown.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, then I'll just start by asking you, Dave, as an elite member of the Democratic donor class, where are we? How's it going? Like, give us an update as we're running into 2026 midterms.
I mean, it was going well, and then the Supreme Court seemed to have gotten involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a perfect answer. It's like the sheer number of emergency Zooms that I've been invited to this week. And funny enough, I was having breakfast with my buddy Paul Dini, who is the co-creator of Harley Quinn and did the Batman animated and the Superman animated things, whatever. Yeah. The best guy. He'd be a really good guest for you guys. You should have him on and do like a superhero thing or something with him.
Please.
We'll talk about that offline.
I'm sorry, we're doing Batman and Robin next week without him. I'm sure it's his favorite movie.
I'm sure it's his absolute favorite. Needless to say, all of this expertise and never asked ever to work on a Batman movie. Like not even close. Yeah. Occasionally they would let him know we're taking one of your animation episodes and sort of like selling it off for parts. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But ran into James Carville at breakfast this morning, which is always very fun and exciting. And he seems positive, which is a good thing. I'll take that. But
sure,
I don't have an answer. I mean, Trump's approval ratings are insane. The cost of everything is insane.
The war's hot again.
The wars, these things, just the sheer level of, graft and incompetence. I mean, it's like, I feel like you got to go back to like the 1800s to see like people like sort of like just making cash on the presidency in this kind of level. Do you know what I mean? Like Roscoe Conkling would be proud.
Right.
But that's a hip reference, right?
That's
for the kids?
People love the Roscoe reference.
People love a Roscoe Conkling reference. So it's just insane. But and you have these Republicans, where they go like, this is not what I voted for. And it's like, fuck you. This is exactly what you voted for. So I don't know. I don't know. I will tell you, I've been working with two organizations that I love, the States Project, which works on local election stuff, and an organization called SLEA, SLEA, State and Local Election Alliance, also works local elections, but for election protection, because obviously we're worried about it. And the judges, the state and local representatives that are going to be elected this November, the judges in Georgia that are going to be elected in June are going to be overseeing our election in 2 years. And so it's such an important time, just so important. So yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
that's great. I love that.
Those are good shout outs. I love that.
Yeah,
I love an actual
shout out. Good plugs.
Paul Dini, SLEA, and States Project. I mean, come on. That's the trifecta.
James Carville at breakfast.
And James Carville, yeah. And I got to see Winnie Holtzman, too, the creator of My So-Called Life and the writer of Wicked. So it was a hell of a morning. It was
quite a breakfast.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Red
this
Maple,
is what I imagine
another shout
Hollywood
out.
is like.
Yeah, and by the way, it was this weird little diner in Toluca Lake, but the world was there. I don't know what was going on. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I got an email or a text message from someone saying, I'm literally begging you to send me $3. So it's like, that's a slightly different.
Yeah, you were doing your part, Matt.
Yeah. You sent them too. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I was glad to see, Plattner kind of locking up the main situation. And I hope we can now be focused. Although, of course, that's very scary. Like, with some of the stuff that has been said about him. And
it's very scary. But of course, some of the worst stuff said about him was by Janet Mills, who Schumer ran against him because, that guy, what I'm going to be very annoying, so.
Do you think he's out in 28? Do you think AOC will?
I hope so. I pray. I mean, obviously she may run for presidency as well, but I do think a lot of these possible Senate winners are running on I'm not voting for him again. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's right.
Wild times. Yeah.
Wild times. Jason, anything to add?
I'm less concerned about the VRA stuff for the midterms. I think there'll be some really funky stuff that goes
down
to
the
court.
line, sure.
But I think it's the longer term kind of long tail of where this will fuck us. And so we'll just have to see. I mean, the bigger issue is that like I think like whoever runs in 28 is going to have to run on court reform. And like like you can't sneak in court reform as like a third tier
Right.
objective. Like you have to
Right.
like sort of make it a front and center thing of your pitch to like prepare people for that eventuality. And so, it's going to take a deaf communicator to kind of land that stuff. I just don't think we get out
It's
of
corruption, right? Though that's the deal. Corruption is
Yeah, I just
rampant,
think
and
you
we
have to specifically say, like, we're going to do this to the Supreme Court. Like,
And
you have,
and just to jump in, sorry, Jason, on what you're
no,
saying,
no.
because I do think that's super. I'm with you. I think what you're talking about is not just a communicator, but somebody who goes in ready to fight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I appreciate Joe Biden's service, and
Yeah.
I'm not looking to
Litigate it.
argue over
Yeah,
what
yeah,
happened in the back
yeah.
end there. But the biggest problem was his own concept. I think that somehow his election cooled the waters and
Right.
fixed everything,
Right.
and then sort of just let it be like, okay, we're back to normal, and we are not back to normal. And it's not
No.
100% his fault, but whoever the next person is I want a fighter. I want a fighter everywhere.
Yeah.
Plattner's a fighter.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan in Michigan of Mallory McMorrow because she's a fighter. I want
Right.
fighters. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Jason.
No, I think that's well said. I think like the other part that I would say about that is like I think there's a lot made in sort of the punditry class about the kind of abundance Dems versus socialist Dems, and like whether or not they're you come down more on the side of like the first we must solve capitalism, or actually we just need to like fix permitting reform or whatever. And I think like there are real ideological differences that will get hammered out in the context of both who's the nominee in 28 and like also in the context of like what the Congress looks like in 27. But like the bigger thing is, to the point about you're making about fighting, is that most voters are not thinking through that lens. Like there's many voters who will support both Mamdani as well as an Ossoff or whatever, because they just want people who look like someone who's going to get shit done. It's
Right.
just like I have shit that I don't like. I want you to go fix that shit for me. And like, whether or not that comes from a more leftist tradition or a more centrist, center left tradition, like I'm not really aware of those differences. Like that is not a dialogue that I am following. I just want to like judge you by, are you going to go and get shit done? And I think that's I think that's what we're going to see play out in these next couple cycles.
When I saw Tallarico a couple of weeks ago, one thing that he did really well, because I asked the question as well, like, how bold are you going to go? How far do you need to make promises?
I'm
of
shocked
changing
that you
things?
asked a question at an event, Matt. It's truly unprecedented.
Is that your move, Matt? Is that your move?
I
You
did
always
not
ask a
invite him
question?
to the pod, so that is growth.
Yeah.
But I was like, how are you thinking about that? And he's like, people don't care about left versus right. It is about top versus bottom. That's how we need to align this thing. And it needs to be about the corruption and control that is being exerted from above, that is punishing everyone else below. And that's how we're going to unify and build a base. And I was like, yep, that works. And I think Ossoff has said similar things just about corruption.
Ossoff's corruption message is incredible. It's very, very good.
Stamp that out.
Yeah,
make copy.
We'll see how it all goes.
We will.
I think we can all agree, though, Trump is doing a great job.
No, it's really going great.
Yeah. I'm so glad there's like 3 more years of this. Yeah.
It's in my own personal like kind of niche political interest. Like yesterday they announced that like actually they're freaked out by the frontier large language models, and they're going to have to like convene like a working group to like figure out how we all don't get hacked and killed by them as they increase in power, which is like a dramatic reversal of their complete laissez-faire approach to AI up until this point.
I'm sure David Sachs is all over it.
It's very funny. It's just very funny. It's like they've both realized that actually we need an AI safety policy, and also we need an Iran nuclear deal. Like we're essentially
but
like the
equally
the Trump
late.
administration
Like which is
just
later.
like caught into some kind of like Tenet style backwards loop where they're just realizing we have to like kind of go backwards and put back everything into place. And eventually, like, by January 2029, they'll be like signing the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act into law. And it'll be like, sort of like the loop is complete. It's pretty great.
Go back to the Civil Rights, get Civil Rights Act back. Like,
it'd be great. Put the passive VRA. Yeah, it'd be great.
Redo it. My God. Well, speaking of looking into the past and finding, just amazing things. Dave, we're so stoked to have you on here. You are the co-host of The Stuff Dreams Are Made Of, the original Movie Props podcast.
Yeah.
You guys just did an episode. Exactly. You did an episode just a couple of weeks ago on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the Grail Diary.
Yes, a deep dive, one of our deep dives.
It's such an incredible. I mean, first of all, Ryan with just the easy flex about having picked up a later, better whip that he now has to complete his collection.
His whip collection.
But he also
wait.
has
Are you talking about his jacketless whip collection?
Oh yeah. Your jacket looks great, buddy, and the revolver. So like
jacketless whip.
That's what he calls it. Those are his words. Yeah, no,
not yours. Yeah. But you guys did something. Usually you're talking about different auctions that are coming up, and you go through and you review all the items that are in there that pop out. And anyone listening to this podcast would be fascinated by that. But then you bring in experts to go in and talk about these deep things, whether it's like the Darth Vader helmet or the X-Wing one that you guys recently did. But the Grail Diary, it's like one of the coolest looking props in history.
It is such a great prop, and it is it's a real credit to the prop makers, because you're talking about this thing where it's almost like, well, we know we're going to see some pages, but we may see some other pages. And so, if I said to you, Jason, go off and make me a Grail Diary, you know what I mean? It's like, well, what the fuck is a Grail Diary? And so there's so much thought into what Henry Jones Sr. would have put in this thing that was in his breast pocket for like 50 years. And
including recipes and train tickets.
And little ticket stubs and like all sorts of scraps of paper and notes and etchings. It's such a fabulous prop. Yeah.
And then Ryan, because of his experience as a showrunner, and you as well, is like, well, the reason why the close-up images don't match any of these books that we know are the right books is the fact that in post-production they were like,
that's when we shot that later on.
We need a new close-up. Yeah. So like,
we need a much better close-up, and we got to show the head or whatever it is. Yes, exactly. Yeah,
exactly. So just really, really fascinating and really fun. So congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you. It was a really fun one. It was a really fun one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is like one of our most autistic props, the Grail Diary. Like it is like sort of like, it's like, yeah, this guy was just had his own little world like snuck into this book.
It's like, I don't care about my kid. My wife is dead. I am just going to work on the book. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really funny. Who did the original arc drawing? Was that Macquarie in Raiders?
The arc drawing that's in the Bible, the one you see, is a Macquarie one.
Amazing.
But a lot of the designs of the arc itself, there's a lot of early Joe Johnston drawings as well of the arc, not for that piece, but just like what an arc would look like. Yeah, which is really cool. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Joe Johnston, what a king.
Yeah, that's a book. Someday an Art of Joe Johnston book would be like a dream book for me to work on at some point. I think there's something about that guy. And I love a lot of his movies. I mean, I think he's a hell of a director as well.
Sure.
But what I was going to say was so multi-talented, from the drawing to the construction to the painting to the directing. I mean, it's just rare that you see somebody with that diverse level of skill sets, which, by the way, is true about so much of the early ILM family, even before it was ILM, where just nobody, like nowadays, everybody like, I do one thing and I don't really know what anyone else is doing. And these guys were doing everything in a fabulous way. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And Johnson, pulling off the design for the Millennium Falcon at the last second. Like, we need a new design. Okay, here, how about this? The most iconic spaceship in history. No problem. No problem. Well, we are stoked to have you back, the co-host of
Speaking of Spaceships.
And the show. Yeah. Speaking of spaceships.
Speaking of the most iconic spaceships of all time.
Exactly. Tonight, we kick off the Summer of Jason. with the 1984 cult classic,
Woo!
The Last Starfighter.
Yeah. Can I say a few words about the Summer of Jason?
Please.
Please.
The Summer of Jason, I think, came in response to, like, there's been a bunch of movies that, like, I've wanted to cover that just haven't made it in the lineup, and so Matt was like, "Okay, we're gonna just do the Summer of Jason and kind of knock him out." And he announced, this was kind of a surprise announcement on the pod last week. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! I'm really gonna
Very exciting.
think about this." And then, like, within 24 hours of recording the pod, first of all, on the pod, I was like, "Wow, I'm really gonna have to think about this list." He's like, "Well, I've used AI to already generate the list that, like, you would have, of things that you would like."
That you said,
so that's,
no,
like,
that
the
you
starting place.
said
Like, okay,
on
cool.
the
I'll look at
air.
that list. And then
Okay.
within 24 hours of that, he's like, "Okay, we need to finalize the list that, like, I have generated." And I was like, "Okay." And so then we've finalized the list. And they're all good movies. They're definitely things that I've mentioned, but it is largely the summer of Matt in Summer of Jason's clothing. Like, it is like Matt has, like,
the summer of Chat GPT.
He could not help himself to produce the list before, like, really anything was committed to paper on my end.
Okay.
Pretty strong.
Well, let me just say, first of all, nothing has been published. Nothing is. Everything is open. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and keep trying.
I think there are some edits that we'll need to make. I think there's some edits that we'll need to make. So stay tuned. I'm gonna have my agent.
But you're okay with Last Starfighter, yes or no?
No, Last Starfighter is definitely a pick. That
okay, just making sure.
No,
and
that's definitely what I wanted.
V the miniseries is definitely happening.
V the miniseries.
If
is
you need me to
100%
come back for that, you
picks.
let me know.
Okay, all right, very good.
I mean, this is like you doing 1984. I could be your guest every day. I could be literally, yeah. But I should point out, this was thrown out as a possibility for your big anniversary episode.
Yes.
And I was just like, oh my God, I want to do it so badly. And you were like, oh, okay, we'll do the other one for the anniversary and then we'll bring you back. So thank you for humoring me, I should say.
Absolutely. Yeah. Also, like the fall of Dave Mandel on his K-Patch, it could happen. Could happen. So we are doing Last Starfighter. Next week, we continue. Jason, this one, I'm kind of shoehorning this in because I had already
this is a good example of how the Summer of Jason is not really in full effect yet.
This had already been announced, right? This had already been locked in and on the calendar. So there was nothing I could do there. But
nothing you can do.
This was a movie.
Who's in charge?
If only you knew someone that was in charge of this thing. Yeah,
the bots are in charge.
Well, it turns out the audience has a role to play in this, Jason. And so, like, this is a movie I swore I would never do because it is not a movie I like, and it is a very bad movie, and it's one that I've tried not to make this podcast about making fun of bad movies, and so, but instead to be doing great movies that we love unironically. Even though sometimes on return, some of those movies we love unironically, there's a nostalgia fog.
And there's a little irony or ironic, whatever.
There's a little irony. But there's no irony in, Joel Schumacher's 1997 Batman and Robin.
And Robin.
We will litigate that next week. We will get all.
We will litigate that. Next week. We go to court.
Get ready.
File your briefs.
Jason and Matt v. nipples.
Yeah,
right. Jason Pro. Yeah.
We've had a lot of nipple. This pod has been covering costumery nipplery for 6 years essentially. That
was the original. Before you were Dune Pod, you were Nipple Pod. Yeah,
Nipple Pod. Yeah,
exactly.
Nice. All right, can we do some quick Hatch news?
Hatch news from beyond.
Dave, September 22nd, are we meeting up in Los Angeles for the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art, the opening?
Yesterday morning at 10:01 a.m., I joined the museum. Yep, I'm a founding member. Yeah,
okay.
I think they made so much money yesterday. I think they paid for the entire museum.
I got that email too. Is that worth joining?
Who knows? I didn't join.
I joined I figured I'll give it a year. We'll see what happens. But I did.
Yes. Amazing. So among other artists that are in there, they listed Frank Miller, Jack Kirby, Mobius, Jim Lee, Frazetta's Princess of Mars cover, and the Lucas Archives, all the Star Wars stuff, prop stuff, Doug Chang's production art. Just incredible.
Yeah.
And you've been to the ranch, right? So you know, like his whole collection of like all his 20s and 30s Nouveau and all the giant posters from the 50s and
The
stuff.
Linedeckers, the Norman Rockwells. I mean, it's the
Totally.
Maxfield Parishes.
Yeah.
You've never seen anything like it, and like stuff that maybe people have forgotten a little bit about, but still rings my bell, like Little Nemo and Slumberlands by
Oh
Winsor
yeah.
McKay. I mean,
Yeah.
just an incredible collection. Yeah, just insane. Yeah.
Cannot wait to
Yeah.
see. So stay tuned. If I see George down on the avenue here in San Anselmo, I'll see if I can bump us up the list and get in there. But that is very, very exciting. Jason, I just want to hit a couple of business things quickly. So we had, unfolding the last week, covered by dear friend of the pod, Mike Isaac. We've had the OpenAI versus Musk trial.
Yeah.
Hard to pick a side. Although, like, I mean, I'm never on Musk's side, but
Yeah. Never Musk.
whole-
It's pretty easy to pick a side in this one, I find.
Really?
It's sort of like my sports rooting rule, which is never Boston. It's just like never.
Okay.
I was about to
Like-
say this is like if the Red Sox are playing the Red Sox. I'm
Yeah,
like, just like, yeah. This is if the current Red Sox are playing the Kurt Schilling Red Sox, and it's just like
Right.
I'd like them both to just die. Yeah.
It's pretty tough, but this text message from Musk to Brockman: by the end of this week, you and Sam will be the most hated men in America. If you insist, so it will be.
Yeah, that is really funny because it is only a shade different than the cousin Greg testimony in
Yes.
Succession. It is very close to if it is to be, so it shall become. It's like,
So good. So good.
yeah,
And also,
shout out to friend of the pod, Mike Isaac, for live tweeting this ridiculous circus and his breakfast every day. It's been pretty fun.
really, really, really good. Second piece, how do we feel about $140 million into a Series B for a floating ocean AI compute platform?
I like the ocean platforms. We talked about this last week. I think the ocean platforms make a lot more sense than the space platforms. Like the space platforms like only make sense if you own a rocket company and are like, we're just going to use this as a loss leader to drive up launches. The radiative heat costs from the orbital data centers really don't make any sense.
Right.
But the ocean is very chill. And you could definitely put some data centers in there. So I'm on board with the ocean base. Now, the problem with the ocean is the salt water.
Salt water? Like, is that not an issue? Corrosion?
Here's the thing. They couldn't get a simple mechanical shark to work in 1974. So the idea that we're going to build a floating magical electricity island and it's going to be fine, I don't know,
I do have questions about that part. But it makes more sense to me just from a straight physics perspective than launch very heavy things into space that you cannot maintain and that have to radiate heat. So
I will say the following just to be really boring for 4 seconds. With all of these giant, electricity draining sort of AI, whatever you want to call them, that they want to build or that they've already been building and whatnot, if they cannot figure out a way, A, to tax these things and B, to use them to fix America's power grid, we are just cruising towards some just incredible
disaster
end that I don't know what it's going to be. But anyway, just wanted to throw that in, a little plug for the power grid. Sorry.
I completely agree. I like the amount of money that is contingent upon the entire US economy is being propped up by data center build out. So we have to find some way for the capital benefits of that to not just accrue to a small handful of companies. And there's lots of proposals for how that can be done. It requires both doing things at a local level so that energy costs aren't driven up, but it also requires doing things at a national level so that everyone shares in the benefit from it. And thus far we've done none of it, but the people are starting to kind of figure out that this is going to have to be part of a solution to this stuff.
I thought that was part of the Alex Bora's New York plan, where like if you were upgrading, you got bumped to the front of the permitting line, and
Yeah,
you
you
could
get bumped to
like,
yeah, exactly.
just unleash the fucking market forces, man. Just like say,
Yep.
we'll give you a green light if you've got the money. Just like spend it for the people and make it happen.
Yeah, I will plug one of my vibe coded projects, which is aipolicy.guide.
Yeah.
And every time someone, it's purely just for me, but anytime someone publishes a new AI policy, I just dump it in like this
fascinating.
system, and it just like analyzes it across dimensions so you can compare what like, you know, the various proposals look like. So anyway, you could see like the Boris proposal, and you could see all, you know, all the New York State one, the California State one, and
Jason, when I forget this, will you send it to me? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm never going to remember. But
Yeah.
I want.
It's not the most catchy URL.
I want to remember it.
Yeah. AI policy .guide. But yeah.
Nice.
Did you know there's now dot party? That's a new one. You can do
Yeah.
dot party. Yeah. That seems like it took much longer than it should have. Anyway,
Yes.
just point. Yeah.
Stuff dreams are made of dot party.
Yeah,
Dot party.
sure.
That's pretty good. Prop dot party is pretty good.
Yeah.
Not to give away a great domain on this podcast,
Nice.
but you should go lock that one up before this publishes.
Last one. Speaking about locking up, Jason, Ryan Cohen on Squawk Box yesterday. With
This is pretty strong. Did you see this, Dave? This is the CEO of GameStop.
Oh,
and
yes.
GameStop announced
Trying to buy eBay, right?
They're going to buy eBay.
Yeah.
And Andrew Ross Sorkin just asked, like, doing the basic math of like it's 11 billion plus 9 billion plus 20 in a loan, and then what? Where's the other 16 billion?
He's gonna be. It's like we said on our website. It's half stock,
It's on the
half
website.
cash. It's great. It's pretty strong.
Honestly, I want them to pay solely with like, I don't even know what I don't know the video game terminology.
Used
I want them
Xbox 360s.
I was gonna say like I want them to pay just with like Fortnite skins. Like it's like, and we'll give you like 8 really rare Fortnite skins.
Yeah, we got some. Yeah. We got some lightly used NFTs.
Yeah, we got an Indiana Jones skin from like 5 years ago that's very rare.
Exactly.
Yeah,
really hot.
We got some
really
S
hot.
tier NFTs that we're gonna trade. Some real quality apes.
Oh man, we're really making some progress. I just think, was that guy like, was he on drugs? Is he like,
No,
seriously
here's what's going
depressed?
on.
Like, what was wrong with that guy?
So first of all, his entire compensation is tied to market cap. So he just he gets paid if the market cap goes up. It's a total meme stock, and so
it's just
the only
churn, right?
Yeah.
It's
So
just,
the only like, and it's like something like there's some stat about like the percent of holdings in the company that is in options versus equity, and it's like 99.34% or something like that. Like like the stock exists for people to gamble on through options. And so the only thing you can do when it's not based in any sort of material financial reality is stunts. And so he got what he wanted. We're talking about it. It was the attention of like the thing. And like, you know, despite the fact that what he did was risible from a strict financial perspective, he's got plenty of defenders out there. Like there's plenty of people who are like, actually what he said is totally correct. And this makes sense because there's an entrenched audience for driving up the price of the stock. Like this is the reality that we live in now. It's like our financial markets through like options trading.
Nobody makes
prediction
anything.
markets.
The entire Discovery, Warner Brothers, it's like we failed at running a studio, but we're a success because we tricked some other idiot into buying it. So that is the problems of democracy or capitalism, I should say.
It's the problem of it's the problem of the current phase of post-capitalism that we're in. We've said this before on the pod, but it's worth repeating, which is that in an attention economy where the only thing that matters is can you get people to look at your thing, we're going to create derivatives markets for that commodity, and things like prediction markets, OnlyFans, crypto, all of those things are derivatives markets for the attention economy. There are ways in which you can make money by driving attention to the particular niche thing that you control the narrative of. And so it's a mistake. It's a category error to be like, but this obviously doesn't make any sense, like based on the financial, because that's not the game that he's playing. He is trying to get eyeballs on the thing so that the market, there's more options trading, so the market cap goes up so that he gets his bonus. Like that's what.
So you're saying that moron outsmarted me. Damn it.
Yeah. the other one that outsmarted you, that like
Jason, your camera. Hold on one second. Your camera.
Now
okay.
you're back. Yeah.
Okay, now
Hold
you're back.
on.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Your camera's getting goofy.
Yeah,
Go
the
ahead.
video card just took a shit.
The other one.
The other one that's like that is like Tucker Carlson, which like you wanted to like talk about the New York Times interview, which like I will meta shortcut by saying like Tucker Carlson is like the most dangerous demagogue in America. And like his ploy of being like, I regret the role that I play in Trump, and this New York Times interview is just a way for him to further broaden the platform to attract people who are like, oh, well, that's like really interesting that someone like Tucker Carlson would distance himself from Trump. Maybe he has interesting things to say. It's worth noting in the episode of his show where he talked about, that was the viral clip that like went around for, I regret the role that I played in getting Trump elected. The other back half of that show was him unpacking this whole story about how he met this like Fox News contributor who's now like a Bulwark contributor. And she was like this stupid woman who's like disgusting. And like the reason he concluded that she was a stupid woman who's disgusting is because the role that her father played in opposing segregated country clubs in Palm Beach, Florida. Like the back half of his show that garnered this like viral clip was a full-throated defense of the American institution of segregated country clubs. Like,
and
like
thank
that
you,
is
New
the
York
role.
Times, for not mentioning that once. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
And so it's like we're like by doing the stuff with the New York Times, by doing the thing with Trump, like he is just creating more surface area to attract people to this heritage American argument, this argument of like, actually WASPs are the attacked population in this country. He is very, very dangerous. He is more dangerous than JD Vance. He is more dangerous than Nick Fuentes. He is more dangerous than Joe Rogan. Like, he is a demagogue who has a very specific ideology that is anti-American in nature, that is explicitly anti-Semitic, that is anti-minority. And it is going to be a real problem to contend with. And like all of his sane washing it through the New York Times or the distancing from Trump has to be, again, like the same thing with the GameStop guy, has to be viewed as just a ploy for increasing attention for his underlying motivation
agenda
and compensation.
He came across as extremely disingenuous through the entire
sucks.
thing. Like, yeah, he is a real POS.
How dare you? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What?
Well, not disingenuous and absolutely not.
Can I say this is my favorite episode of Escape Hatch ever? Like,
oh, great!
Fuck it. Let's not even do the movie. I just want to do hardcore politic talk. Why don't we do that? We'll do. I don't know. I feel like we should do Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and then just do like Democratic policy. Come on, guys.
No problem, man. I mean, listen. From here, the run out from here to 28. Like, we'll definitely be getting it going on. That is for sure. But yeah, I'm glad we got you going this morning. That's good. I do want to say welcome and thank you to our latest patron. Hello, Adrian D. Longtime listener, said sometimes Patreon member for several years now, back on the rolls.
Wow.
Welcome back, Adrian. Great to have
That's great.
you. And also new Discord member, Anna Zaffron. Thank you, Anna, for joining. By the way, guys, the Discord is where you find out about the Dune Part 3 screening. Dave, if you want to come up to San Francisco, we rented the IMAX 70 millimeter screen on Friday, December 18th at 3 p.m. And then we're going to do a live recording after the show. So
Yes, I'll come for that.
But there you go. Okay,
great.
Boom.
Sold.
Will you guys remind me on December 16th?
AI policy, the invitation. Okay, good. Yeah, we will make it happen. All right. Well, are you guys ready to talk Democratic politics? I mean, to talk this movie?
Do we want to talk about the Odyssey trailer? That was the only piece of hatch.
Oh, I really did enjoy that. Boy,
yeah,
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. I forgot.
Really? Oh,
Matt
I went full
person.
screen, and I just was like, oh. Yeah.
I meant to. I watched Euphoria season 3, episode 4 instead. So sorry. Go ahead.
Jesus.
Jason.
Okay, so I have two things to say then. One, on Euphoria, I was midway through Euphoria season 3, episode 4, and I had to stop in the middle and start watching the 2019 Tom Hanks Mr. Rogers movie because I felt like just so bad about like everything that I was like, I just need something else. And the 2019
it was
Tom Hanks
bad.
Mr. Rogers movie is not a good movie, nor is Tom Hanks's performance in it more than like mere caricature. But
Right.
I cried repeatedly through the movie because Mr. Like it's funny because at some point in the
saving
movie,
you?
A cleansing of sorts.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Mr.
Yeah.
It was a catharsis, which will lead us into the Odyssey. There's at some point in the Mr. Rogers movie, Mr. Rogers' wife says, like, I don't think you should. I don't like it when people call him a living saint because like he really works at this. He practices, like he has his faults, like he gets angry, has a temper, like and yet the entire point of the movie really is that Mr. Rogers was like essentially Jesus Christ, like, was as holy and divine a being as America will ever produce. And like, I legitimately believe that, like having watched the movie,
Same.
It was so great and like just made me like so appreciative that Mr. Rogers existed in any timeline, and definitely made me feel better for having watched
But I will, but I'm with you. I will say there is in the back end of that movie, it is like a healing with hands. Like
no, it
where,
is like a cripple
like he touches the guy, and it's just like
yeah.
Yeah.
No. Like a cripple walks, and
Yeah.
like like the lepers are healed. No, it is explicitly Christ-like. And I was like, yeah,
wild.
I'm down. If this is like if he had presented himself as Christ, like I would have joined. So shout out to that. Season 3 of Euphoria, just really just a lot of horrors. Like just really just a lot of like horrors the show. Like
Episode
really.
4, a much darker turn, and it was already dark to begin with, and it's had dark moments in the past, but it's definitely going all the way in. I was like, woof.
It's pretty surprising. So anyway,
but you're sticking with it. You're sticking with it. That's good. Okay.
Odyssey.
So, the Odyssey
Looks great. People really in their feelings about this one because everyone has American accents and Tom Holland says dad at one point.
Yeah. Like it's so funny. I didn't mind anything. Dad did throw me. Yeah.
But here's my thought. Let's talk about this for a second. To include in the trailer Tom Holland saying in an American accent, like whatever he said, something my dad's coming back or whatever the line was, is so intentional. It's so clearly like you better understand what the point of this fucking movie, like you better be on board with like the journey that we're going on here. And that like, I can't imagine it was an incidental choice. I feel like the idea that everyone is going to have American accents, that there's going to be, soldiers in armor, like in plate armor in the trailer. Like it's clear, like now the movie may not work. There's a possibility that all of these bets like fall flat in some way, that Nolan's got this idea of like, no, like this is something like there's an Americanness about this that we're throwing. There's an anachronism that's intentional. Like it may not work, but it's clearly like part of the project that's intended here.
They're not like dancing to rock music, like whatever that
right, Knight's Tale.
Yes, right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, Dad hit me, but I guess I didn't care. Nolan for me has achieved sort of Stanley Kubrick level of like, I don't care what it is, I will watch it, and I just don't, and I will watch it multiple times in multiple formats, however Chris Nolan tells me to do it, and I just really did love it. So yeah. I'm also obsessed, by the way. Do you guys know this story? I bet you guys do. That there was that moment before he got Batman where Wolfgang Peterson was going to do Batman. And so he was circling
Wasn't
Troy.
it Batman Superman? Were they
yes, I think so, yeah. But so Nolan was circling Troy, and then the Batman Superman thing fell apart. So then Wolfgang Peterson did Troy, and then he ended up getting what became Batman Begins. And the notion that this is an idea, the idea of him, the way he wanted to do the Trojan horse has been percolating for that long. I'm obsessed with it.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. So I didn't see the trailer, but I did watch the 7-minute preview or whatever on 70mm IMAX, and it just looks fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, it looks nuts.
I am still like, last night I woke up at 2:00 in the morning and could not fall back to sleep. I was too excited, Dave, for your appearance here. But I did sit and read I was reading the Iliad, and I read it for like 90 minutes. It was fucking awesome. Like they were like just like massive battle. I'm halfway through the book, and they're finally getting to the big battles after a lot of teasing. That shit is good. It's a good story.
Yeah, it's a good story. I mean, that's the other thing is like it's a good story.
It's a
like
good story.
the source material is pretty
Did you, by the way,
timeless.
did you see that crazy story that they found this Egyptian tomb and the mummies were buried with like there was a piece of the Iliad like in the
That's hot.
tomb. Yeah.
Cool.
Really, really
Love that.
neat. Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. Okay. Now are you guys ready to get into this
Speaking of
movie?
mummies.
Yes.
Exactly. All right, here we go. The Last Starfighter is the chance to become legend and see how far you can go. Alex Rogan is a teenager trapped in the trailer park his mother manages, stuck fixing his neighbor's plumbing while his dreams of moving away to college with his girlfriend Maggie seem destined to vanish into thin air. His only escape is the arcade game on the trailer park's front lawn, a deep space combat simulator Alex just set the record on as the highest scoring player on Earth. But he quickly learns that this just isn't any arcade game. It's a recruitment tool planted across the cosmos by the Star League of Planets to find pilots gifted enough to defend the star frontier from Zur and the Kodan Armada. Transported to the planet Rylos by suave alien recruiter Centauri, Alex is initially overwhelmed by his place among aliens and resists his improbable destiny in the stars. But when Zur's devastating sneak attack wipes out the Star League's entire squadron, he will have to find the courage to take his place behind the controls of the Gunstar and become the Last Starfighter.
Bravo.
Let's go.
Bravo.
Yes.
Ba, 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 ba.
Really, really good. Dave, tell us about your first experience with The Last Starfighter.
In the theater, just
14.
14
Wow.
in the theater. That, sort of 13, 14 is where I'm no longer going to movies with my parents. You know what I mean?
You
Like
became
I'm
a man.
Yeah,
You're a man
exactly.
now.
Yeah, 13, I'm a man, and I'm going to go see movies on my own. So, just a couple of, but I don't think I was up to like night movies yet alone, but like I know it was that opening weekend. I can't remember if it was like Saturday or Sunday afternoon, but
I'm going to tell you
yeah.
it's Saturday, and I'll tell you why in just a minute, but
Okay.
we'll get there.
So
but,
Saturday
okay.
afternoon,
Yeah.
neighborhood theater, just fabulous. And what I remember more than anything is just the way the ship looked, just that early digital, whatever you like, I guess computer animation, which in my mind, it's still okay, but at the time, it seemed like the greatest ship I'd ever seen in my life. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and I'll just go ahead and piggyback on that. So same thing, saw it opening weekend. I would have also seen it on either Saturday or Sunday because I was booked on Friday night. And this was
You can just say it's Shabbat. Don't go on.
No, Star Trek 3 opened that weekend as well.
Okay.
So yeah, we were busy on Friday, but
Shabbat. He had Christian Shabbat along with the Christian bar mitzvah.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So I saw this movie and absolutely loved it. And I'll get into more about that when we get to it, what it meant to me. Jason, you were way too young for this. You were
I
only
don't
7.
think I saw it in the theater. It's possible, but I don't have a memory of that. But I saw it like 2,000 times on VHS.
I was gonna say this was an early great like VHS rental.
Yeah. There's just not a time in my life where I was not watching this movie, essentially, like obsessively.
And I think there's something people don't understand, that if you go back to 1984, every pizza parlor, every movie theater had arcade games in a way that you don't see them nowadays. Yeah. And so the notion that you were 1 minute, in a pizza place playing a game and putting your initials up, and now here's this movie that, for lack of a better word, is the fantasy of your initials, forgive me, taking you into outer space.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just perfection in terms of like this wish fulfillment idea of a 14-year-old at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
It is the ultimate like kind of like male fantasy,
Yes.
prepubescent male fantasy. Like it really is just like, I didn't know this was possible. How can I be in this world? Yeah, it's great.
Really, really good. So some quick behind the scenes. This was written by Jonathan Butel, and apparently he walked into a video arcade and saw a kid playing the video game. And at the time, he'd been reading T.H. White's The Once and Future King.
And kind of
And
glued
so-
that together. Nice.
Yeah, and he's like, what if the video game was the Sword and the Stone? And even
That's
you have
pretty good.
Centauri. Centauri talks about the Excalibur test. And so
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think
Yeah.
about the Sword in the Stone.
And Centauri, very sort of Merlin-esque, kind of
Very Merlin-esque.
Yeah.
Totally. So this is directed by
It's
Nick
a better
Castle.
movie than Excalibur. A better telling of the Arthurian legend than Excalibur is what we're hearing.
Definitely not better than Excalibur.
Incorrect, but have you guys done Excalibur, I hope?
Yes,
did.
it's one of Matt's favorite movies.
Okay, I love it. Yeah.
The best. Did you get the 4K?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you go see it in the theater? Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it projected anywhere, but or whatever. But no, I have the 4K. I actually have two 4Ks because I ordered it, forgot I ordered it, and then ordered a second one. Yeah. So
Okay,
if anyone,
you can send it to me.
if anyone
I'll-
needs
I'll
a 4K, yes, it's
I
yours.
need a 4K.
It's
I need
yours.
a 4K. I'll
It's
send
yours,
you.
yeah.
Okay, we'll get the details. So
It's a
this is
giveaway. It's a host giveaway.
This is directed by Nick Castle, who also directed Tag, which that was.
Oh wow!
Who's in Tag? I've
Ham.
seen it.
Isn't Ham in Tag or Bradley Cooper? Some handsome person, and then like Ed Helms.
No, younger.
and-
This is 1982, dude.
No,
This is-
not you're thinking of the recent Tag. Or
Oh.
whatever that. Yeah.
No.
there's-
This is the 1982 one, like with the guys with like the little guns, like dart guns or whatever, or something.
Oh, I don't know anything
Anyways,
about that.
whatever. This is. I think
Wait,
Corey likes
Tag,
it.
but not Gotcha, or you not Gotcha with
It's Tag.
Parcheesi?
Okay, it's Tag.
It is Tag. Let me see.
because my daughter, her high school was doing sort of an assassin game, and I just kept going, can we watch Gotcha? Let me show you Gotcha. And she just refused across the board.
That's
and
the
I
right
think
choice.
I am going, no, it is such a good movie. Cold War, Anthony Edwards, Lyndon Fiorentino. It is, Gotcha holds up. I highly recommend Gotcha. Yeah.
I
So
tried
this
to
is-
get the family to watch Starfighter with me, but it didn't work out.
Didn't take.
I watched Starfighter alone last night at 1 a.m. Yeah,
watched
nobody
Starfighter
was interested. No, yeah.
Solo mission.
Yeah.
So Tag, the assassination game, 1982. We've got Robert Carradine, Linda Hamilton. Ooh, Michael Winslow doing probably doing some sound effects or whatnot. So that is Tag. Anyways, the other claim to fame that he had was that he was John Carpenter's college roommate at USC.
Oh.
And he was the Shape in Halloween. He was paid $25 a day to be the original Michael Myers.
Oh,
Wow. No idea. Yeah.
that's
Really
crazy.
wild. And then he also went on later to co-write Escape from New York, which unbelievable
Wow.
movie. So they got up and running. They had a couple of casting near misses. Mark Hamill was originally offered the role of Alex, but I think it was clearly too old to do that.
And
It
it's
did
like,
not-
come on, you can't put. I don't think you could put Luke Skywalker in this movie. That's a little.
No, you definitely can't. Tom Cruise also considered, fresh off Risky Business.
Would have crushed.
Boy,
what a
that would've
crush,
been
but-
yeah.
But I think you definitely get a sense that the budget here would not have sustained that. Like this whole thing is kind of a budget operation. So they ended up getting.
Well, I
Lance
don't know what
Guest.
Tom Cruise's quote was in 1985. Like, it's not like he was, it's not like he was getting $20 million a picture yet.
No, definitely not. He was not all the way there. But they ended up going with Lance Guest, who had been the lead in Halloween 2. So you got more of that Carpenter connection going on. In the end, the budget for this one Star War, it was $14 million. And it did $29 million at the box office. So
A
it
hit,
worked.
baby.
It worked. It wasn't a big hit.
It was a smash.
It made its money.
Biggest
But-
movie ever.
It should have been a
look-
franchise.
Look at this competition in July of 1984. Ghostbusters, Gremlins, Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom,
Jesus.
Karate Kid and the Never-Ending Story.
But that makes that 29 million sound even better then, I think.
Yeah,
I feel
right?
like
exactly.
It cut through something. People saw it. That's something, yeah.
And makes
It's
the
not
decline
nothing.
of America seem that much worse.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Dave, where do you want to start?
I got to start with Robert Preston as
Okay, great.
Centauri. I know we just
Yes.
talked about him as a little bit of a modern Merlin, if you will,
I love
but
that.
also con man. I think I read somewhere, or maybe once upon a time watched in like a DVD extra of some sort, that they wrote the part for him and
Yep.
based it a little bit on
Henry Hill.
Henry Hill, the Music Man kind of thing. Preston is one of these guys that I think, certainly nowadays modern audiences have forgotten. His Henry Hill was incredible, both Broadway and the movie.
My favorite musical of all time. And the
So
movie,
wonderful,
the
yeah.
movie's incredible. The movie is so
Yeah.
good. He is so good in it. It's just like, and it is that kind of American hucksterism that
Yep.
like ultimately gets turned with a heart of
And
gold.
obviously, the monorail Simpsons episode is based
Right.
on that.
Of course.
I think people have sort of also forgotten about Victor Victoria, where
Yeah.
I think he got a Best Supporting Actor win for that. I think incredible in that. He is so good in this, so charming. Yes, a little bit of huckster, but just so goddamn charming. And I think one of the things that he does, which is an incredible thing. I mean, this movie is insane, right? You play a video game and then you get taken to the Armada and you have to help defend whatever. But when he is sort of telling it to Alex, he's telling
Yeah.
the audience, and he
Right.
makes you kind of believe it in a really wonderful way.
That's a good
So
note.
he grounds the movie by just being an incredible actor, even though it's fucking nutso as a movie. And he's so charming. He's so much, not that the material is weak, but he's so much better than the material in a really great way. He just elevates every scene he's in, and then
The whole tone changes. Like when he
Yes.
comes in, like the whole thing just shifts
Yeah,
like dramatically.
it just becomes alive, and therefore his quote unquote death is really effective. And
Yeah.
then obviously the surprise, oh, he's alive, that much. I mean, you're so happy at the end that he is alive again. It's
Yeah.
wild. And it's all Preston. I mean, Robert Preston. Yeah.
Yeah, he believes it. Like
Yes.
he's like he's fully committed to this ridiculous
Exactly.
like thing that he's doing, which is
Mm.
quite something.
Yeah.
Like, it's quite like if you look at like you can watch like the interviews with Alec Guinness and like the
Right,
deep
right,
skepticism that he had about Star Wars,
Yep.
from
Yeah.
which he made $200 million or
Right.
whatever.
And
it
the
was.
regret, the after regret too.
Yeah.
Right.
and I think his performance in Star Wars: A New Hope is great. Like I don't have any like big notes, but like you can kind of sense that like he's like, what the fuck is this? Like what? Like I am a real actor. Like how has it come to this?
This is how
whereas,
I'm gonna
like,
be
I was
remembered
in the
forever.
bridge of the River Kwai.
Yeah,
Now,
like,
Yeah.
what the fuck am I doing in wherever we
I'm with
are?
a
Yeah.
Wookiee.
Yeah.
Like it's a tough one for me.
He is just really fantastic in this movie, and I think you called out his death scene, the way that Grig delivers to him "Until the next dimension, old friend," and I'm like, it's like, first of all, stop the presses.
Right.
Is there like a Grig Centauri prequel that we should be
Yes.
watching, where they had to build
Yes.
the Star Command last time and they had to go do all this shit and had a bunch of adventures? I posted, it's now been a couple of weeks. There's a Last Starfighter comic that's coming out soon.
Oh,
That is going to be, there's both the reprint of the original Marvel
the Marvel
adaptation,
adaptation. Yep, which I loved. Yeah.
but there's a whole new series coming out that's going to be picking up and carrying on
Oh.
from here. So,
Interesting.
but I love that notion, because he's like such a, he is this kind of huckster to the Star Command, but then Grig obviously feels that connection with him. And also, I guess, just loves getting over on Alex that he doesn't realize that he's not actually dead.
Right. We're gonna play this like he's dead, but don't worry.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's see. Jason, what is your first point?
I want to start with the score, which I assume is a point that others will have as well. But like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I forgot the score, but like I was when it got, the opening fanfare and it goes into the score, I was like, God damn, homie was cooking. Like this is this is good shit. Like it really is. Like the score dramatically outperforms the work, I feel.
And it's huge. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like a
it's
giant orchestra. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
massive, like Star Wars, like John Williams, like, Wrath of Khan, just huge score and really, really hits. And I like that it's like orchestra and not synthy, but I do like that
Yeah.
on the arcade machine, you hear the synth version
Right.
of the score.
Oh, nice.
So I like that. I like that bit too.
This is Craig Safin, who did the score for Cheers and then did Remo Williams, and also Stand and Deliver.
Oh, okay.
So kind of like a wide.
The digital video game one would be a great ringtone, don't you think?
Yeah.
That would be a great ringtone.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Golly, yeah.
It's such a huge score. It's never sappy. It's a little bit like Robert Preston. I think again, better than the material and elevates it. Like it really, it helps land so many of those moments. It's pretty wonderful. Yeah. So loud, so big in a great way. Yeah. It just is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so Jason, that was my last point in the Deakins Award for Outstanding Excellence, was the score. So let's go to the Deakins Award in general, and we could talk about, oh shoot, hold on one second.
Phone's ringing?
1 second. Nope. 1 second.
Matt's going to start throwing things again. This is when you see the violence. He's got to watch the Mr. Rogers movie too, so he learns how to deal with his anger.
Nope. All good. All good.
What do you do with the mad that you feel?
All right. So Jason, you were talking about the score, which is part of my Deakins Award for Outstanding Excellence. So let's just go to the production design and the CG work in this movie.
Yeah, this is my second point. So
the look and feel of this movie is very important. So first of all, like we didn't even get halfway through the credits when I saw production designer Ron Cobb.
Yeah.
Just like one of the all-time goated production designers. Dark Star, Alien, Star Wars, Conan the Barbarian, E.T., Back to the Future, Aliens, The Abyss, and Total Recall.
Yeah. You guys keep talking about it's like, oh, it's better than the material, but like, the material.
Well, the material is good. It is good. Yeah, I know, but you know what I mean. It's just like the budget of it. It just
Yeah.
Yes, I guess that's what I mean.
But like on this point, on this point, like with the first of all, I think like the effects are, they feel good for the practical effects feel good for the period of time that they come out of. Like it's like the stuff with
the alien makeup, the robot stuff, all of that's really spot on. No, you're right.
And then the CG is actually groundbreaking. Like it is like we're a year off from Tron or whatever. I mean we're pretty close to the stuff that we like in Tron. And the like to pull off like this level of pure CGI space battle shit is pretty remarkable for 85.
I have in my collection, I have a piece or two. I think I have one. It's basically a Ron Cobb sort of storyboard design board of the ship. Basically just him sort of like they worked it all out with obviously pen and paper before they started like building all the computer animation. So it's just a really just nice shot of the main ship. And I just, I love it. I love it just because, it's Ron Cobb and I love this movie. So
I just pasted into chat, Dave, that Ron Cobb sketch of the Starfighter, just incredible. Ron Cobb is amazing. I will say, I thought like even the hallway at Star Command looked exactly like the Nostromo in terms of the shape of it. It's like a hexagon.
Little touch. I
shape.
get that. Yep.
But it definitely, to me, you could feel the budget kind of holding this back, like the big command center and some of those, like everything is kind of flat. So like Ron wasn't able to kind of like give everything as much of the kind of lived in look. They're just also bigger spaces than what you got in
Right.
Alien.
Yeah.
So I think harder to address those.
A couple other things though, just about like, first of all, like the ship is a great model, and like, you know, this is like this transitional moment in CGI where you go from the very abstract world of Tron, where it's just being
Yeah.
used for like shapes and bloops and blops or whatever, like
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
really mean
Yeah.
anything. And like, you know, what is the recognizer? Like it's just like some, you know, it's some geometric shapes. And like this is very recognizably a spaceship, and
Yeah.
is meant to like sort of evoke like, oh, this is a cool toy that I would like to collect. Like no one ever fucking wanted to. They didn't even make the recognizer because it doesn't make sense as like a physical thing, right? And so it's like, you know, it's this moment where we're about to, all of the spaceships that you're going to see are going to be computer modeled. And this is the sort of one of the beginnings of, you know, one of the beginnings of that moment. And I think, you know, I think is pretty cool. I think also all the heads up display stuff that they take from, you know, both the
Very
stuff that they
cool.
put in the console, the cabinet, in the video game, and then
Yeah.
add, you know, to the actual real, quote unquote, real spaceship. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And if you're like a little nerdlet, like you look at that and you're just like, I want to know every fucking bleep and blop on that screen, in terms of how, because I'm gonna have to fly this ship one day, so
Right.
I better know how it works. And it's just
Adding it to the list of things you needed to prepare: how to do the bishop knife trick, how to fly a gun star. Like
exactly.
but this was like weird. Like, this is computer shit. This is my stuff. I'm a computer guy, and now it's computer graphics, and now it's flying spaceships. Like, my shit is what is cool, and so that was the feeling.
I had two other points on the design of the space, on that point about computer graphics. Like, one is when he's learning the layout of the Gunstar, the reticle disappears and he's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
in a xenon mist. Shout out to Xenon having a big year.
Yeah,
Also
yeah.
appears like the
Project Hail Mary,
critical
yeah.
element in Project Hail Mary. So I just like that Xenon is like the slop that we grab for when we need like miracle element.
But by the way,
Love that.
very possible Andy Weir is a big Last Starfighter
Very
fan.
possible
Yes,
Andy Weir is that it is an
Yeah, for sure.
intentional
That is
shout out.
it is a yes, exactly. So I think
Yes.
more likely than not. Yeah.
I love
Also
that
just-
idea.
Yeah.
In a xenon mist is just a fucking cool sentence.
It's a
like,
cool
period.
phrase. Like someone
Yeah.
cooked. There was a day when some writer wrote down it's disappeared to do it a xenon miss and then just took a big drag off a cigarette. It was like, fucking crush this day. Let's go to our early lunch, see who we see
Let's
at the
go.
diner. The other thing, this is like if this whole idea of using the video game to like recruit starfighters, it's like there is a bit of a future echo on this, right? Which is like both like the US military historically has like used games to like recruit people. And now like in the era of like FPV drone like reality, like this is
Right. Even
this
more
would
so,
totally
yeah.
just be Alex would be recruited to like murder people with explosives on the Ukrainian front line. Like that, like
Right.
that is the skill that actually he is developing here. And so like, you know, it's a prescient echo. It's a timeless movie that speaks to our time.
It also became, I mean, I don't think it's a sci-fi trope, but the notion of sort of the video game and then you get to be the real guy kind of a thing. You know, there's like Ender's Game and other things like that. It definitely it became a thing. Did you guys, and I forgive me for plugging my own shit, did you guys ever watch any of the Clerks cartoon that I did with Kevin Smith at all?
Yeah, I did.
I watched.
didn't
I
know
watched
you
a
did
couple
that.
episodes.
It's-
Yeah,
yeah,
me
that's
and
wild.
Kevin,
Yeah.
I did that with Kevin and Scott Mosier. We did
Amazing.
an episode, I can't remember which episode, it's the fourth or the fifth episode. No, it's not the fourth. I think it's the fifth episode where Randall is playing a video game. It's the high school reunion episode. And he's playing this video game and it's called like Pharaoh and it's about building pyramids. And
Okay.
he gets the high score. And then it's basically the Last Starfighter parody. They come and they recruit him and they go, you got the high score, you got to come with us. And what they bring him to is a slave pit where he then has to push real stones and build a pyramid. So
that's really funny.
check that out. It's in there. Yeah.
Oh
so
my
yeah.
God.
So that's my
Nice.
little Last Starfighter parody
great.
of that. Yes. Pharaoh.
That- That is really funny.
I just
My
saw a
God.
great Kevin Smith quote, this clip this morning, where he was talking about on Dogma he was like, we were shooting and like there was a break, they were setting up lights or whatever. And so I like was going over to get a snack and I saw Jason Mewes and Alan Rickman
Oh, I
in
know the
deep
story, yeah.
conversation with each other. And I was like, what the fuck could those two guys be talking about? And he goes to Rickman and he's like, listen, if he's bothering you, like I can tell him to stop talking to you. He's like, no, like Jason Mewes is an American Idol. Like he's everything.
He's like
great
the
about
most
this
fascinating the most fascinating conversation I've ever had in my life. Yes.
So good.
Yeah.
Really
That's
funny.
amazing. I picture, Jason, you doing that when you see me talking to somebody at a party. You're
I'm
like,
very
"Hey, just-"
concerned anytime I see you talking to anyone. Yeah. I'm very
Candidate Tallarico, I'm very sorry.
Yeah,
I apologize. Yeah.
I don't. Is this strange man bothering you? Is he talking? Is he talking about Excalibur again?
Let's go back to the graphics for just a second here, because I agree. This was like coming off of Tron in '82, so 2 years later. And actually, I was talking to someone who was asking me, did I think the graphics were like the best or totally amazing? And I remember this is 1 year after Return of the Jedi. So we saw extremely complicated and amazing looking battles with fantastic models.
Yeah.
And I definitely wouldn't say that at the time even I thought this looked better than that. It just looked really different. And it looked there was a pretty big scope in terms of the battle and kind of a bunch of crazy stuff that was going on that would have been impossible for someone with their budget to do on miniatures.
Right.
But I definitely really appreciated it. This was all done by a company called Digital Productions on a Cray
Amazing name.
XMP-48. Digital Productions?
Yeah, great name.
Very, yeah.
They got in early with that name. They got that.
Yeah.
They got that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The name
Digital
is probably
Productions dot party.
Yeah.
So they had 27 minutes total of CG, so more than every prior film combined.
Right.
And ILM passed. They thought this was just going to be way too much.
Yeah, they're like, fuck you guys.
$4.5 million out of the $14 million budget, and the same Cray that rendered the Gunstar frame simulated nuclear weapons for the DoD, and also worked for like the petroleum companies, whatever, to do stuff. So pretty amazing. It also made.
So this is the best thing that
the
the Cray ever did. This was its best use.
That's right. That is right. All right, Dave, what is your second point?
My second point, and because we were talking about casting, I think Lance Guest very underrated, and I'm going to give him. I'm guessing they cast him thinking, maybe he'll become a big star, and I think where he really shows it more than anything. I mean, there's some nice emotional scenes, but a lot of the comedy with him playing the robot duplicate. There is some really fun. He's got some chops there, and I think that helps this movie tremendously. He has a charm to him. There's a very tough thing. You see it in a lot of, I don't know, 80s and 90s sitcoms where the everyman ends up being very weak-chinned or even fey because they don't know what to do as an everyman.
Right.
So they get very like, I don't know, just like not strong because they don't know what to do. And he plays an everyman in a very believable, again, young Tom Hanksian kind of bosom buddies, a little goofy, a little real, and I think he is an underrated part of this movie. So I'm kind of, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. All three of my points are going to be about casting today. So he's number 2 for me, or maybe the heading of casting. But
I think that's great. I agree. And like, so he's playing a double part. He has to do like the fish out of water beta part.
Yep.
And then he's got
a lot of wide-eyed, oh my God, which is hard. How many times can you do? What is this? What is that?
Yeah.
And he really makes it land. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think obviously he has a much faster path than Jeff had in Starman, where he's spending much more time kind of very fish out of water. But I just wanted to ask you, Dave, because this really struck me. I had completely forgotten how big the Maggie Beta plotline was.
Yes.
And that idea of basically splitting this movie in half so that the whole movie is unfolding in both places, that's an interesting call.
It is, but it's actually pretty cool. I mean, I did wonder a little bit how much of it was budget, like if we can have more Earth scenes, if you will. I mean, that was that's where my brain went a little bit of just like, we can't carry a whole movie in space. So I did wonder if
Right.
that was part of it. But keeping the, if you will, the trailer park alive, keeping the little brother, all of that stuff alive, I know it ends up being really smart, and it gives it's funny, even though Alex is not in those scenes because it's beta, it keeps a lot of the humanity alive, even though it's a robot playing those scenes. And I don't know, it really does work in a way that, as a writer, I'm not sure I would have thought of it, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. I love that idea. We've talked about this many times when we had Greg Yatanis on for 12 Monkeys. He was talking about how the budget constraint was what basically saved Gilliam on that
Sure.
movie, because he was trying to do some absolutely insane shit. And so that idea of the budget constraint here, putting a pressure on them and them really reacting and rising to the challenge to make it happen. I love everything with Lewis in this movie. I was the younger brother, so I was always like getting shit from my older brothers, but I just loved him and finding the Playboys and stuff. Like they're really going for it with Hello Miss June or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I mean, at the same time, it's kind of a take on the 80s younger brother, the little kid in 16 Candles and whatnot, like he's the little, it's a very 80s thing, but they do some really good stuff. And at the end of the movie, when he's playing the video game, I mean, come on. It's like,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Chills.
Yeah.
Yeah, chills. I also thought just back there on the Maggie Beta plot line, the Silver Lake seemed pretty good. Just got big bonfires. I don't know, California, I guess there was no wildfire risk back then.
No, everything was lush, and we had a winter, a rainy season. It was really great. Yeah.
And they were not paying attention to those fires. There was a lot of making out going on. I thought that seemed pretty good.
That was one of my honorable mentions, I guess I'll throw out now, which was like, I love the line where he says, "Should I put my tongue in your ear now?" Where he's like, he can't figure out how to make out with the girl. And like, I don't think that made a lot of sense to me as a kid. And like, as a 50-year-old man, I still have questions. Like, I mean, that's that's a very specific move. Like, you better know that is
that's
what the
my main
wants.
move. I learned it in that movie, and that's all I've been doing for 50 years.
Oh, you're lucky it worked.
My wife has one regular ear and one very weird looking ear, because it's all I do. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Holy cow. Jason, what is your next point?
Apparently I did wait. I have more ear content. I did research about like whether or not this was like a thing. Apparently there's an ear licking in Risky Business, which is not the sex I remember from Risky Business. The sex from Risky Business I remember very well.
On the train?
The ear licking I don't know anything about, but apparently it's in that as well. What's my next point? I'm glad we've covered all of that. The trailer park. Okay, this is a thematic point, which is that the trailer park and the arcade are the same dream, and the dream came true in a way that the movie didn't anticipate. So like the Starbright trailer park,
very cool,
most beautiful fucking trailer park that's ever been made. An amazing American community, a testament to pluralism, and just like, people taking care of each other. Like when when the TV's out, like the whole town comes together. When Alex breaks the record, like every fucking person in the world comes out to like watch it.
They are high-fiving, they are jumping up. This is like, Dave, when you finished Dragon Slayer, you get high fives everywhere. You make it happen.
But like the level of like older adult support for playing video games did not exist in 1984 in my world. It was simply, why are you wasting your money? But anyway,
right. No, it was like, but it is this like, it is this place that he wants to escape from.
It is the art uber American dream. I mean, it is yes, he goes to space, but is the young boy from the middle of nowhere, the trailer park. He could have been the best shortstop in the world, but he is the Armada Starfleet commander. I mean, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, and so there's like two halves of it that are like, one is this version of the American dream that he wants to escape from was like never particularly real to begin.
Right.
I don't know if the Starbright trailer park exists anywhere. But like, you know, it's this almost like, you know, it's this almost you know, conservative, like, you know, small c ideal of like small town life that he's
Yes.
trying to escape from. And then like the escape that he's like trying to like, you know, go to like the, you know, through the arcade,
It's
through the portal of the
college.
arcade, like, you know, that doesn't exist either. Like, you know, both like the third place of the arcade doesn't exist anymore. Like we're all playing games on our phones alone, you know, like separate physical. If you do something great in a game, like no fucking neighbors are coming to cheer for you.
Right. And none of the games look like they do in the ads for the games, if I may point that out.
Exactly. Exactly. And so there's just like, you know, there's just something like really fantastical about like the depiction of both halves of that I was struck by. There's a lot of nice details about the community around the Starlight Starbright. I want to give a shout out to the lady in a weird hat during the when he's breaking the record, and like he comes up across the command ship and she's like, "Oh, command ship!" Like who? Like she really made a fucking meal out of the one line she had in this movie. Like shout out to her. Hope she went on to great things.
It was like the Jaws uncle line, basically.
Yeah. The what?
The what? So funny. I also, I was definitely struck by that as well. And again, part of this has that wish fulfillment. For me, I was 100% in that vein. Like I want people to celebrate me for being into video games, and then I want to be able to go do the actual thing and have that adventure. That was for sure the dream. Dave, I want to just ask you about the refusal of the call, right? Which we've seen with Star Wars and Joseph Campbell.
Myth. Yep.
Yeah, laid this out as a key thing. But my note is the refusal of the call and the refusal and the refusal. Like they really, Alex does not want to do this. Like,
but it's funny in my mind watching it last night. It never slowed. It was never slow. It was repetitive, but never slow. So it oddly works. I mean, I guess in its own weird way, they felt the need to have him deny it that many times. But in some strange way, when he finally does accept the call, I don't know, it made it all the more cool. But again, it seems like if you were outlining it on your board, someone might go, maybe he only has to turn it down 7 times. You know,
right.
I did think it was a kind of a tough, that the initial briefing that happens 4 minutes after he arrives on this, you know, in space, and they're just chanting victory or death. I'm like, I get it. This is like when Theoden is like leading the charge in the Battle of Pelennor. It is just everyone screaming death. Like that's not rallying me. But I guess it takes all kinds, maybe. Oh man. Jason, your last point.
I did all my points because I had the CGI, the score, and the trailer park one. We overlapped on one. So I've done all my points, but I do have honorable mentions.
Go for it.
Okay.
Or is it time for honorable mentions?
Well, you can go ahead, or however you want to do it.
Well, yeah, let's just do one more, then we'll go to honorable mentions.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do my last. I'm going to do my last
casting
point.
Yes,
is Catherine Mary Stewart. Well, first of all,
great.
Va-va-va-voom. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I realize these are wrong things, but huge crush. At the time, for 14-year-old me, she was
the hottest girl ever.
Just incredible.
Yes.
I also love the movie Night of the Comet, which is not everybody's favorite movie. But I love it. Oh, we'll do that.
I haven't seen it, but it's been 35 years, and it's constantly requested. Java's already typing in the Discord.
You can put me down for when you bring me back for Night of the Comet.
Night of the Comet.
I love it. I love her. And again, she's playing her scenes, if you will, with, the robot, whatever, but in a strange way, it really does just amplify, just like their relationship and her love of him. And on some sort of, I guess, Odysseus-like return home, she's not necessarily there with the suitors, but, she like it, when he basically comes back to take her into space, you again just like you're just so happy for them as a couple and their future together. again, I don't know what it is. I think I keep coming back to this word grounding. It really just makes this insanely crazy idea seem somehow real.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's what really does
Human.
Yeah.
work. Yes, the
Yeah.
humanity of it. Just these very nice, and this is an important word also, small performances.
Right.
Right.
Like
Right.
it just nobody is ever like, what? You know, it's
Yeah.
everything is small and there's just a nice reality to it all. And I kudos to her as well. And whoever did the casting on the movie across the board, really, really nice. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love your all casting notes. I think that's a really good feature and shows like sort of the like what you get with a professional podcaster. You get someone who's like not only got 3 good points, but has worked out an overall theme.
But I think it
Um,
also, but I was going to just say, I think it also really does help when you're in these movies that have like crazy computer graphics, which at
Yeah.
the time was less of a sure thing. If
Right.
you are not hanging these computer graphics on some decent acting, you are in real trouble.
You're in real
And
trouble.
Yeah.
I think 84 is also War Games, right? Which is like had incredible graphics
Yep.
as a component of it, but still the emotional
Yep.
core is so strong.
This point that like we're so happy when she decides to actually go with them and that we're that they've ended up together is really true, and the score really
Even
kinda
though they've
sells.
quote unquote been apart for most of the movie, which
Right.
again
Right.
is a credit to her and I guess all those scenes with the double. Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
That scene
Incidentally,
after he dies,
amazingly
as she turns and says, "I love you, Alex Rogan," as the music swells and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
like holy shit, that was amazing.
Now it is sad that because she decided to abandon her grandmother, that her
Bye,
grandma
Granny.
dies in a slip and fall accident like the next day. So
Literally
that
like a
part is
day
bummer.
later, and it
Yeah.
takes 7 years for that news to reach the
Yeah,
Armada.
Right.
in outer
So
space,
yeah.
that her face was eaten by a
Yeah.
cat, like when she, no one found the body. It was tough, but like she's a very understanding girlfriend too. Like, she comes back from like the timeout at Silver Lake, and he's just playing the video game, giving her shit, and she's
Right.
like, "Look, I came back because I want to be with you," and he's like, "What the fuck ever? I'm like playing this game right now." I was like, "Bro." Good luck with this strategy.
But he did come back though. Like it only took him like literally 2 seconds, and he like gives her the side
But then
eye,
he's in
like,
the
oh.
run. That's during the scene when he starts the run up to the high score. It's not like he stops playing the game. Like,
No,
he
but then
doesn't,
she's like, "Ooh, what are you doing?" They care, Jason. They care. All right, I'm gonna do a couple honorable mentions. You can jump in anytime.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys read Armada by Ernest Cline?
No.
So that was his follow-up to Ready Player One and Ready
Okay.
Player Two, and it's basically like the back cover said, we've all seen Last Starfighter, and this isn't just that, but it's also just that. So
You know what?
Dave,
I don't mind that. I will read that. I'm
Yeah.
going to read that. Yes.
how are you on Ready Player One, the book and the movie?
I love the book. The movie's hit and miss for me, I guess, a little bit, but I do love the book. I mean, I know it's obviously a lot of just,
Made
I
for
don't
you.
know, it's pastiches and Easter eggs galore. And, at some
Mhm.
point, okay, but I do enjoy it. I have a soft spot for it. The movie, I don't know. Somehow, it never quite lands for me. I don't know.
I was watching part of the chase scene, and it was just like a product of CG, like just like going
I do think
overload.
it's so CG, and just somehow it just never, it doesn't. I mean, we were just talking about like grounded in reality and all that kind of stuff. That's somehow what felt like it was missing. Like even the notion of his poor life with the abusive aunts, whatever, and living in a junkyard, it somehow still seemed fun and neat and never, I don't know, I don't know. It just didn't land for me. Sorry. No.
All right. Well, let me know what you think about Armada.
I will check that out. Yeah.
I read it. I barely remember it. I remember enjoying it.
Sure.
But definitely it's the same theme here. Second note, a 100-minute runtime.
Ooh.
Yes. Love that.
Like
Yeah.
Hollywood, I can help you solve your budget crisis. Just like make your movies an hour shorter.
How long is the Odyssey going to be? Do we know the runtime?
Well,
on that
that's
one yet?
6 hours. I think that's.
Yeah, good question. I don't know.
We are also doing Barry Lyndon this summer, which is one of my
fun.
favorite movies. But like, I'm like, okay, that's going to be an afternoon. Gotta block off some time for that. Yeah, I mean, you got to earn it. If you're going to make someone sit
gotta
through
earn
3
it.
hours, you got to earn it.
the last movie, well, I guess I was about to say the last movie I saw in the theater was actually Devil Wears Prada 2, but we went, a couple weeks ago, we saw Project Runway. I had read the book, enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie, but I also
Product Hail Mary?
Hail Mary, sorry. What did I call it? Project Runway?
Project Runway.
Yeah, even better. You would have loved Project Runway,
Make
the
it
movie.
work.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's
Sorry.
Andy Weir.
Too much Devil Wears Prada 2, Project Runway. But boy, oh boy, Hail Mary. I mean, just take 20 minutes out of it. Take a half hour out of it.
Agreed.
I would, yeah.
Agreed.
And I loved it. I enjoyed it.
I've seen it twice, and it is as emotionally fulfilling a movie as I've seen in recent years. But they could have taken 20 minutes out of the movie for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. What can you do? Sometimes it's hard.
True story.
My honorable mentions include calling people slimes. Which the little brother does at the end. You hear that? You're slimes? I'm famous. Which I think is interesting because Crystal had a Gem and the Holograms viewing party at our house where she and Juniper and her friend Maggie all
Dressed
did
up?
their hair Gem and the Hologram style and wore crazy makeup. And slimes is a big insult in that as well.
Oh.
And Gem and the Holograms came out in 1985. And I just feel like maybe there was just this slimes period where it was a go-to insult.
Not in New York City, but okay. Yeah. All right.
Interesting. Yeah, I had not heard that. Also, kind of legendary Death Blossom. What
Death
a
Blossom's
name
good.
for a friggin'
Really
for a
good.
friggin' thing. And it's kind of funny with that 100-minute runtime. I was suddenly, we're already at the end. Oh, he already took out the command ship. Oh, he's already doing the Death Blossom, and we're done here. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I have a very specific sort of honorable mention. It easily could have been one of my points, but it's very specific. Recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. I mean, I saw that movie in 1984, and those words have been seared into my brain.
Yes.
40 years later. Yeah.
And I will say on this viewing, I was asking questions about the backstory for the first time ever in I was like, oh, right. Zur is one of the people from the Star League, but there's this reference that, the Kodan Armada, the previous emperor of the Kodan Armada, recruited Zur to lead their ship.
Tricked him into betraying them or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, give me the whole thing. I'm really interested in whatever happened. How did it's this great father-son drama, where, and incidentally, the opening, the introduction of Zur, where it's, I'm going to I'm going to laser the brains out of your chief spy master.
That was tough.
Pretty tough as a kid.
I had also, rewatching this movie last night, I kind of realized, oh my gosh, I had forgotten how much, forgive me, the Tim Allen space movie, Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest, yeah.
How much the bad guy in that and Zur and sort of the threats on the screen.
Yeah.
I know that's a Star Trek device, but there was definitely this is clearly part of what they were thinking about in a very fun way.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
This is Galaxy Quest has a lot of elements from this,
yes,
right?
Similar,
a
different recruiting,
real.
if you will, and a sort of you think it's going to be okay, and we're cowardly, and now we're going to do it. But yes, very much so. Yeah,
both Galaxy Quest and Project Hail Mary owe a debt to this movie.
And Project Runway. So
and surprisingly Project Runway.
I do love the Kodan Admiral or whatever with the eyepiece that flicks down.
Yes.
And the whole what do? We die.
It's amazing.
Iconic.
It's an amazing line read. It's a great line. And it's the same thing as Zur and the Kodan Armada. It's timeless. They really crushed it. They came up with something that you remember after 40 years, which is pretty strong. Hard to do in culture.
Okay, just a couple more things. Dave, the Planet Mobile scene where Alex is just sitting there and the music is playing, and then he starts mouthing the lines of what the people are saying outside. Is that just directly saying that nothing ever changes here in the trailer park?
Yeah.
It's that predictable. Okay.
It's if there's a bright spot in the galaxy, this is the farthest place from it.
Yeah. That's great.
I didn't love the paymaster with the green eye shade is the spy? Like that? I don't know. There was something
What
about
didn't you
that.
love about him?
I don't know. It's just just the fact that they had green
He
eye
felt
shades.
it wasn't anti-Semitic enough.
Really?
He wanted it more.
That okay, yeah. So
Speaking of
very
that,
good.
speaking of that introduction to the Starling, another line that has stuck with me for 40 years is Rita na Maxwella. Like I was like watching, I was like, oh, I like know the fucking foreign language like from this.
That's awesome. Let's see. Will Wheaton was in this movie.
Really?
Yes, Will Wheaton played Lewis's friend.
Oh my gosh, blew right by me. Yeah.
All of his speaking lines got cut, but he's in the background in a couple of scenes.
Okay.
Same with
And
Rats of Nim, incidentally. Will Wheaton is
Secrets
also
of
a voice
Nim.
in the Rats of Nim.
Really?
Mostly
Wow, cool.
cut. I think he has one line left.
There you go. He's hanging in. How about Alex just landing the Gunstar and just revealing the Star League to Earth?
This was my last honorable mention, which was because like the somewhat problematic character of the black custodian, like the black guy who like is like, you know, the sort of the magical black resident of the Starbright
Yes.
trailer park is like, oh, the whole galaxy's gonna know about us. Like, you know, he's doing like the full like, you know, driving Miss Daisy, and like I was like, I got bad news for everyone here. Like, you all are going to be sent to a CIA black site for knowing about this. Like
we're gonna have to dissect every one of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
A problematic character in the pluralistic depiction of Starlight of the pluralistic sort of, you know, fantasy land of Starlight Starbright. I don't think the black gentleman really got sort of a full featured fully embodied character to portray, but you know, we can't have it all. It was 1985.
I think that is correct. Last thing, a direct Starfighter sequel almost happened. It was greenlit in 2000, and with Alex was attached to come back, but they ran out of money. And apparently it was most recently in development at Fox in 2015. Like, you could certainly, when I was watching it, and like, you know, they're shooting him and he's like in the Gunstar cockpit, and like the hydraulics on the thing are just kind of like really wonky moving around. You could imagine like doing that today with physical effects and with digital effects. That would look fucking awesome.
When I have a question, Dave, when like something goes like, you know, development hell and is just like, okay, yeah, we're not like, you know, like we're not doing that thing anymore. Does anyone like, is there like an official record anywhere where it's like, we remember what these things are that we like are not doing? Or is it just like some of them get memory hold until...
No, probably not. I mean, I think, you know, obviously if an individual producer has it, maybe he's trying to shepherd it along and whatnot. Right. But I think all the time these studios remember, oh, we have the rights to this or whatever, you know, and I mean, look, and certainly in our current era of, you know, IP over anything else, it would not shock me that someone tries to do this again, but it's been so long. It feels like, you know, if it's not a movie unto itself, it certainly doesn't have as much. I mean, we all might like it, but you know, it's hard to sell these movies when like the main part of the audience doesn't remember the original. That's the problem with all of these sort of legacy sequels, I think, on some level. Yeah.
Seth Rogen did a show as well on Hulu. I can't remember what it was called, but it was the one where it was one of the kids from Hunger Games, Josh, is playing video games, but it's from the year 3000 or whatever, and they recruit him from the past to come back to the future.
Funny.
Interesting.
That had a really funny bit where they had to break, as part of the deal, they came back in the present to get him, and they had to break into James Cameron's house. And so like they had a whole thing where they built,
I don't know what this is. That's funny.
That's pretty funny.
It was really good. Okay. Dave, who would Tilda Swinton play?
Well, I feel like my initial thought, because I've been thinking about this for 24 hours. I've given this perhaps more thought than I've given anything in my life at the moment.
That's great.
I want to say Grig, just the idea that you show up and she's your navigator and whatnot. But then I had this insane idea that if she played if she played Beta, and she played it as if they were twins, but that everyone just keeps saying like, Alex, how are you doing today? You look tired this morning, and no one points out that they're not.
Right.
Boy, I would enjoy that movie. And the full on, can I stick my tongue in your ear and all that kind of stuff. I just, I'd have stretched out that sequence and made it even longer. So there's my answer. Yeah.
I love it.
That's pretty strong. For my part, I think, Dave, you were on the right track with Griggs, but the right answer is that she plays Mrs. Griggs as shown in the photo book when he's like, his family's, she has the fur collar on.
This is the same as Project Hail Mary. You wanted her to be Rocky's wife.
Rocky's mate.
Rocky's wife.
One of us got one
just joke. One of the kids in the classroom at the end. Yeah.
I would go for her as the admiral with the with the eyepiece.
With the eyepiece. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
That's good.
I would have loved to see Tilda Swinton sing that Harry Styles song in the karaoke scene, I will say, in Project Hail Mary. Yeah.
That scene fucking works. That scene is so good.
That scene is so good. I fucking downloaded the Harry Styles song.
I know.
Like who
crazy.
am I? I'm a 55-year-old man. It's like, fuck me. Yeah.
It's an amazing song. Yeah. It is an amazing song. All right. Are you guys ready to do some quick voicemails?
Let's do it.
Okie dokie. Here is our first voicemail from Australia.
Hello, Bogpod.
Hey, Bogpod.
Hello, Bogpod. Hey, Bogpod. Hello, Bogpod. Hey, Bogpod. Bogpod.
All right, here we go, Ethan.
G'day, Boghatch. The Last Starfighter is a film that contains the classic 80s children's film trope of being very scary and having a horrifying scene in it. I'm pretty sure that simuloid was like circulated around the internet when I was a child for like jump scare purposes. I'm not sure. Anywho, it got me thinking about the generally unsettling quality of children's movies in the 80s, and I think this is something that is widely documented, but normally people attribute it to just them having scarier content. But I do think there's a generational phenomenon here, whereby people my age who grew up immersed in an environment in which films could more accurately replicate the real world because of better visual effects and sound, that to us, films with lower fidelity and worse effects on often esoteric formats kept by our parents, like videotape. These movies from the 80s felt naturally dreamlike and unsettling in the same way that the uncanny valley occurs with faces. I think our generation copped a certain film uncanny valley because of the way these movies looked, if that makes sense. Which got me thinking, my friends, are there any films that you've seen in your life that are so strange and so unsettling that if you woke up tomorrow and were told that this film did not exist and you had in fact dreamed it, what would it be? For me, it's My Son, What Have Ye Done by Werner Herzog. Indescribable film. Lots of love.
That's great.
Herzog flex.
Herzog. That is a Herzog flex. Ethan,
Naked Lunch?
What's that?
Naked Lunch?
Yeah,
I could think of two things wrong with the title of this movie. All right, go ahead.
For me, like The Serpent and the Rainbow is one that I saw when I was young. I saw it with I think Aaron in the Discord, and like the hammering through the balls is particularly unsettling as a pubescent viewer.
Angel Heart?
Yeah. So that's the first one that comes to mind. It's come up. Serpent and the Rainbow's come up before. I think Corey's mentioned it on here, and every time like someone mentions it, I get like a chill. I'm just like, I would prefer.
I didn't see that one in the theater. I saw that on video, and it still bothered me. I mean, I was home with lights off, and it freaked the fuck out of me.
It's concerning.
How about you, Dave? What do you got?
I don't know. I was thinking sort of about his sort of larger point about like kids' movies in general, and I was just thinking about it like. I feel like, and I think a lot about this, especially when you get to like the Star Wars prequels, where when like they made Star Wars, he just made a movie. But when he made the prequels, it was like, especially that first one, it's like he was aiming for kids. And I think
right.
I think when you don't aim for kids and it happens to be a movie that kids like, but also adults like, you do end up with these scary sequences and whatnot that maybe are super scary. But I think we are the better for it in the sense of nobody's aiming down at us. Like, yeah, it was scary. It freaked the hell out of me if I was little. I mean, the original one is like Walt Disney with Bambi's mom dying, but it's
Right.
like they're not pulling punches going, oh, this is for kids. And I guess I wish that was still alive today. Whereas now when you go see a kids movie,
Yeah.
when I used to take my kids to the movies, more often than not, I would fall asleep because it was just inane most of the time. You know
Right.
what I mean? And I guess, I don't know, I was thinking a lot about the Australian gentleman's point. So anyway, wherever that
Ethan,
fits in. Yeah.
It's funny too, though. Stuff that I had never seen Neverending Story.
Yep.
And then so many people had been traumatized by Artax, and I watched it and I was like, whoa, that is very upsetting.
Yeah.
And then friends of my 8-year-olds, friends from his class, have watched it, and the dads who showed it to their kids reported to me that they didn't care at all. They were like, yep, that horse went into the mud, and that's fine. Like,
So
move
be
on
it.
to the
Yes.
next thing. Yeah, exactly. So this next generation,
Well, that's because
it's tough stuff.
we've raised a generation of psychopaths. But anyway,
Yeah. Of
phone
people who have
phone
no
using psychopaths that can't read. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how we do here. All right. Thank you so much, Ethan. Here is our next voicemail.
This is your brother, Animal Mother.
All right, Animal Mother.
I did the world's first perfect score on Pac-Man. 3,333,360. Ooh, it's exhausting to just say it. The moment that score went up there, I thought, wow, I achieved perfection. You get to the end, there's nothing to do but die.
Hello, animal friends and animal lovers. When I was Lewis's age, I spent an obscene amount of time playing Descent, a first-person shooter set across the solar system. Its zero-G 3D navigational features were so overwhelmingly sexy they took over my prepubescent brain for years. I had yet to receive job offers from the Space Force to study my hard-earned motion sickness immunity. But when a Doctor Who inevitably drops by in a proto-DeLorean to recruit me, I'll tell him, hold my beer. I'll bring a joystick to a particle beam fight and be the space techno hitman I was always meant to be. I just hope my simuloid doesn't bitch about anyone's strange sexual urges while I'm out. I didn't mean to step on your whatever that is. Would a 10-year-old even know what to look for in a Playboy? Thank you all. See you at the frontier and get the chance, you filthy animals.
Yes is my answer.
Yes.
Love
exactly.
Animal Mother. I think it is interesting. Like we've talked about before, like woods porn and like finding like, like the Playboys in the forest.
Seemingly universal for our generation. Like everyone seems to have that story.
Yeah, a formative experience. 10, it did stick out to me on this view. I was like, Lewis seems a bit young. But what can you do? Life's different in the Starlight Starbright.
Did I ever
They
tell you
grow
guys
up fast.
Did I ever tell you guys my Playboy story? Have you ever?
No,
heard
go
my
for it.
story?
Please.
So, I had a Playboy copy. Well, let me go the different way, but you'll see where the story goes. So one day my mother, who's insane, is, of course, sorry, that's my other phone. I'm getting rid of that. My mother just would like randomly sometimes go into my old childhood room and fill a box with things of the closet and just send it to me in LA because she was just trying to get rid of stuff. But at least she wasn't throwing it out, but she just sent it out.
To be clear, my mom also does this.
Yeah. So at some point or another, she sent out a big load of games and we just shoved them on the shelf. We've got kids, we've got games. And I'm at work one day and all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up. My wife and kids go to play like my old copy of Clue and they lift the board up and they find an old Playboy that I had hidden there with
my God.
my absolute favorite playmate of the time, Shannon Tweed, who I love.
That's amazing.
Shannon
dude.
Tweed. And so
yes.
they don't really quite know what Playboy is, but she sends a couple of pictures and they're all laughing hysterically. And I ended up posting it on Twitter at the time of just like, here's what happened, ha, 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 ha. And Shannon Tweed wrote back, and my life was made. Yes, my life was made. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was initially a story about how past you fucked future you, and it ended up being a story about how past you blessed future you.
high-fived me. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Amazing shit.
Yes. So Shannon Tweed acknowledged my existence. So
that's great.
I am good. Yes.
God bless.
That is incredible. Holy moly. Find the tweet. We need to find that tweet. Incredible stuff. All right. Thank you so much, Animal Mother. Here comes our next voicemail. Mr. Java.
Okay.
All right, Java.
Wish I left the trailer park, 'cause my only pastime is an 8-bit clash. I just didn't think I would be off the world among aliens shouting victory or death. Starfighter, soar high, start my ship tonight. Starfighter, soar high, it is a prototype. Starfighter, soar high, some little skins on right. Starfighter, stay bright, yeah! You must be a Zandozan. You just killed that guy with a flying car, and while I'm out by the wheel, steal your truck with my girlfriend, you know, right by his side. Starfighter, soar high, start my ship tonight. Starfighter, soar high, it is a prototype. Starfighter, soar high, some little skins on right. Starfighter, stay bright, yeah!
Wow.
I am so tired, and I'm sure you are too. Can you tell us a time you wish you'd had a beta unit, or something you wish you had a beta unit for?
Oh, yeah.
But understand, it'll probably be socially awkward, might not do the best job. I said, back to sleep, H, or I'm telling Jason about your Playboys. Centauri!
Pretty strong.
Listen.
Dave, last week, Mr. Java, who does original song parodies for us every week, last week his parody was Scotty Doesn't Know.
Oh my gosh. What was the... What did he
What was the movie
change to?
for the Prestige?
The Prestige.
Oh,
yeah.
So who didn't know in that version?
We'll send you the whole song.
Danton doesn't know?
Yeah, it was it. It was really good. It was good. He crushes every week.
Please.
Danton doesn't know. Good immediate Prestige
Oh,
pull.
huge fan of Prestige. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Prestige fan. Yeah.
Good one.
What was I going to say?
I could have used a beta unit when I was working at Amazon 70 hours a week while April was pregnant with Sam.
Oh, Jesus.
That would have been helpful. But I'm not sure if I would have been the beta at
Right.
work.
Where
or
are
at
you
home.
going? Yeah, exactly.
That's a good question.
For
This
me,
is kind of like a Danton
to me,
question. It's
any
like,
chance to just send it to school events would be just my kids' school events, any way, shape, or form. And then I wouldn't even have to drown the double. It would probably kill itself after those events. Yeah.
I don't mind the school event so much because if like the kids are doing something cute, like that's fun.
No, I don't mean that. I mean like the parents only meetings.
Yes, that's what I'm sorry.
School
Yes,
night.
yeah. The ones that I would opt out of are like the birthday parties where it's just like, and like I like the parents in my school or whatever, but to like it's just like your kids are like fucking playing in a bounce house, and I'm just like, how long can they play in the bounce house until someone dislocates a shoulder, a shoulder, or like gets like hantavirus, and you're just like kind of sort of doing like this, like what you're just kind of doing small talk for forever.
No, at some point I kept playing fantasy football because it was the only thing I could talk about at those birthday parties. It was like, what?
Oh,
what? Did someone say fantasy football? How's your team doing? And now let's at least, because it's just like, otherwise nobody's got anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yep.
So
Tough
that would
stuff.
be a good one.
Tough stuff. All right, here is our next voicemail.
The truth sayer.
All right.
Hey, Alberia here. Last Starfighter is about a kid who gets recruited from a trailer park and launched into cosmic warfare, which is nice, right? But for the young stars of this movie, a stellar career trajectory just wasn't in the cards. Instead, They all did a bunch of network TV. For today's Truth Sayer, we're going to look at 3 made-for-TV projects the young cast members for The Last Starfighter may have done in the late 80s. 2 of
This
these
is right up
gigs
Dave's
are
alley.
fiction. 1 was true. Time for the Truth Sayer. Number 1. Lance Guest, our heroic Alex Rogan, appeared in the 1986 NBC TV movie about the Challenger disaster, playing the young NASA engineer who initially raised concerns about the shuttle's O-rings before the launch. Or is it number 2? Catherine Mary Stewart, our lovely Maggie Gordon, starred in a 1988 ABC dramatization of the Patty Hearst story, a lesser Patty Hearst. Or is it number 3? Christopher Hebert, who played Louis Rogan, the little kid, appeared in the 1985 CBS miniseries Robert Kennedy and His Times, playing a young and worm-free Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Dang.
All right, which of these respectable rent-paying
Those are all
biopic
good
appearances for the stars of The Last Starfighter is true?
I'm definitely going with C.
You think it's RFK?
RFK Jr., yeah.
I'm going to go A. I don't think B is real, but I'm going to go A. Could be C, but I'm going to go A, yeah.
I'm going to go
Jason?
A as well. The Patty Hearst one I don't think is real.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right, did you pick the correct made-for-TV vehicle for these kids for The Last Starfighter? It's number 3. Little Christopher Hebert
the
really
worm.
portray a young Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in the Robert Kennedy and His Times 1985 TV miniseries.
Fuck that
Also
guy.
appearing in this thing, H's best buddy, River Phoenix, played a slightly older and possibly worm-riddled RFK Jr.
Crazy.
Also, Veronica Cartwright as Ethel Kennedy, Sharon Doherty as Kathleen Kennedy, and Jason
Jesus.
Bateman as Joe Kennedy III. I bet The Last Starfighter was a lot more fun to film, though, than like swimming in stagnant ponds all summer for Christopher Hebert. Here ends the Truth Sayer.
Wow.
Very
Fascinating. Very fascinating.
Can you imagine being in a world without having these assholes in charge of our government?
Hard to imagine, yes.
It's hard to imagine. The health one is the one, as we've talked about before, that really upsets me the most. Like that's always that's the one that like
the
really
death of
drives me
science
crazy.
is just madness. Madness. Yeah.
It's annoying. All right, 2 more. Here we go, real quick.
Hello, Escape Hatch. It's Kev here. This week talking about The Last Starfighter, a movie I haven't seen, but I know all about. It's one of those. And it's honestly excited to dig in. I think I will watch this one. But, time makes fools of us all. And I was just in Chicago, so give me a break, which was wonderful. By the way, tell me, Kev's question, why shouldn't I move to Chicago? I'm running out of reasons not to. But Kev's question for The Last Starfighter. We went to this kind of barcade situation. And I was playing some of the games, and I was thinking about The Last Starfighter, reflecting on that. I feel like this is going to get asked, but I don't really have the space for the metagame this week. If you could save the world by playing a video game, what would that game be and why? For me, it's either Miss Pac-Man or, get this, Kiss Pinball. Kiss Pinball is actually awesome. If you get it, the ball in the right spot, it flies out of Gene Simmons' plastic head. Yes, the tongue is there. Yes, it rolls down the tongue. Thank you all. And again, why shouldn't I move to Chicago? What game could you save the world with peace and love? And I'll talk to you all next week. I think it's going to be a pretty big one. Goodbye.
Once again, it's Kev's questions.
Great
Wow.
voicemail.
I was going to say just Galaga because that's my best. So I guess I'm just sticking with the Starfighter theme.
I like that. By the way, Gene Simmons married to Shannon Tweed.
Shania Twain. Oh, Shania Twain.
Wow.
Shannon Tweed, yes.
Yes. Married to Project Runway, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a real favorite of mine, the 2 that I was really best at, Time Pilot, if you remember Time Pilot.
Classic.
Similar
Absolutely
but different.
classic.
Or the Popeye video game, which I
Amazing game.
Loved
Yeah.
the Popeye video game.
That was a good
I
one.
was pretty damn good at the Popeye video game, yeah.
Also the
And Shinobi.
Shinobi,
Shinobi, yeah.
Shinobi was the shit, man. That game is amazing. But you remember on the back of the Marvel Comics, the Popeye commercials that they had. Those full page ads were amazing. Thank you so much, Kev. Here's our last voicemail.
I didn't get to answer.
Jason, what's your video game? Yes.
Jesus
Jason.
Christ.
And Jason, more
Jason.
importantly, should he move to Chicago?
Yeah, I was going to answer. No one answered the Chicago part, and I got skipped. The summer of Jason sucks so far.
We're running out of time. Relax. Go ahead, please. Take your time.
So first of all, Kev's living in New York, so it's hard to ever move New York for another city. But like Chicago is a great city. The only downside with Chicago is the weather. The winter is incredibly bad.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, really nice town. I love Chicago. Never lived there, but I've always enjoyed visiting.
His co-host
so
of
I
his
think it's worth
podcast is
considering.
there, so that's a plus, right? Austin Danger Podcast, the only Austin Powers curated podcast.
And in terms of games I would play, I have more than once in the arcade beat the original X-Men side scroller game. Like more than once I've finished that game. Now it took a bunch of quarters, so it's not like I had any kind of preternatural skill at it. I just like dumped money into the machine. But I put in the time.
but it was worth it.
Yeah.
Sam
More
and I played it because they have
practically,
that
I
closely.
do think there's no game that I've played as much as World of Warcraft. So if there's a way to save the world by playing Resto Druid Healer and Mythic Plus Pugs, that's probably the best shot I've got, because it's the thing I definitely have the most experience doing.
I don't even know what that sentence was that you said. That made none of that made any sense to me.
All I want to do is, and I've been avoiding it, is like basically get one of these like I don't even know what you call it, like the simulators, so that I can run all the old Ultima games and play them again. And I guess I'm trying not to do that, as I believe that will end life as I know it, my marriage, and a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I'll send you some links for what you should.
Okay, Jason, are you ready to move on?
I guess so.
Okay, very, very good. All right, here is our final voicemail. Read. Yeah.
Escape. Hey, this is Corey calling from Austin, Texas, about the Last Starfighter, which was made in 1984. I was 12 when this came out. I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw it on cable, so I must have been a little older when I saw it. And, you know, this one's a little too nicey nice for me. Like, even at the tender age of 13 or whatever when I saw it. You know, it's hard for me to be mad at it, though. You know, it's got a good heart, and it's got some good performances. I like the lead guy there. He's good. And then the woman from Night of the Comet, she's good. They're both, you know, they have some good chemistry. And then there's, what's his name? The guy from the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. He's in a ton of shit. As Grigg. He's good. I like him. And then
get to your question.
There's old Robert Preston, that dramatic queen, just really breathing some life into Centauri there. Anyway, even though the special effects are a little weird and dated, they were like super groundbreaking. I remember that at the time. And I don't mind that kind of weird special effects. I actually kind of have a soft spot for special effects that look really odd. You know, and all the practical stuff was cool, all the little alien masks and things. So, I don't know. It's definitely geared for kids, but really not my thing, I guess, overall. You know, I really have to stop watching these movies after my dog gets me up at like 4:30 in the morning. And
yeah, that's the problem.
I get sleep, so I put on a movie, so I'm kind of in a shitty mood. Maybe that's the problem. I'm just kind of like starting off on the wrong foot, not really giving the film a fair shake. Maybe that's what's going on here. The past couple of weeks, it's been a little, not the worst, not my favorite. Next week, though, thankfully, we're watching a stone cold classic that is sure to disappoint no one, especially those who are running this pod with an iron fist. Anyway, all right. I love you guys. Talk to y'all next week.
We love you, Corey.
Tilda Swinton play Centauri, right? Centauri.
Oh, yeah.
Flair to that. And she'd pull out her little kerchief and make her alien face appear and reappear. It'd be great. I love it. Okay. That's it. Bye.
Bye, Corey. We love you.
Love you,
It'll get better.
Corey, not a question, but I recommend...
No, Corey doesn't leave questions.
Okay. Magnesium for sleeping might help a little bit.
So. Oh, that's a good suggestion. Crystal does that.
Magnesium glycinate is the that is the move. Guys, we did it. We made it. Dave, what do you have to plug, my friend?
Check out the stuff dreams are made of. You can follow me on social media at David H. Mandel on various whatevers. I got nothing, but yeah, all good.
Okay. Okay, very good, very good. We'll see you. We'll see you soon for. I don't know. We got a lot of movies you could do. We
I
got
know.
a lot of options.
Well, I'll be back for Night of the Comet in a couple.
or V,
yeah.
or V, or
On V
whatever.
miniseries. Yes.
I was thinking with you and Ryan talking the other day. I was listening to the pod. I still want to do Name of the Rose, which I've never seen.
That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
So I've known that was a Ryan like major on the totem
That'd
pole,
be a
but
good
I
one
didn't
for the
realize that
two
was
of you
one for
guys,
you
yeah.
as well. So yeah, good stuff.
My plug.
Yes, please.
I don't want to get skipped. Because I have a special request for a plug this week. Juniper
Whoa.
asked if I was recording the podcast, and I said yes. And she said, "Will you mention me on the podcast?" I said, "Of course. What do you want me to mention about you?" And she said, "I want you to mention that I'm a very good meditator." And to demonstrate this, she meditated in the car for the full 30-minute car ride to school, and really did, like, was just quiet in the back seat and like in lotus position, with her hands in like mudra. It was quite something. And she even put her doll in yoga pose to demonstrate her commitment to the meditative arts. So shout out to Juniper and her meditative practice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
Dang. You meditate at all, Jason?
I have on occasion meditated. And I think I should do more of it. But you know, what are you gonna do? These
not real
these
quiet
Mythic
inside
Plus
my
dungeons
head.
aren't gonna heal themselves.
Whatever it takes.